me an argument for why the filioque is logically necessary. That's supposed to follow from the argument you previously gave me. First, you want to just define
Mm.
filioque so we're kind of clear on what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so filioque simply is going to be that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. It's as simple as that.
Right, sure, I got that down. Um,
Mm.
I'll hold on, wait, I need to respond to upset.
You know, right? The Orthodox position is to say that the Holy Spirit only proceeds from the Father.
Yep.
Okay. So, just in general, do you even disagree with the filioque?
Um, not
Or like maybe you're
necessarily.
skeptical, or maybe it's
Right now, I don't
neutral?
agree with the filioque, but like maybe if there's some reason for why the filioque is true, I can hold to it.
Okay, so you don't immediately agree with it, but you don't think it's like impossible. You think there may be a reason. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, sure. So then, all I need to show you is that the filioque must be whole, must be held. Most importantly, the reason why it's a logical necessity, right?
sure,
Okay, so since this is a continuation of the same dialectic, we go by the same standard and rules, right?
sure.
Okay. So you believe God is a logical necessity?
No, not logical necessity, no.
Why not?
Because to assert that something's a logical necessity, is to say that given the concept of a thing, um,
Mm.
its non-existence is impossible. But like, I don't
Yeah.
think the concept of God entails that its non-existence is impossible.
So you think it's possible for God to fail in his existence?
Logically speaking, yeah.
And what kind of God is that?
Like God can be metaphysically necessary. So like, it might be the case that something is like logically contingent but metaphysically necessary.
Hmm.
That's the view I hold.
Yeah, sure. I don't disagree with the distinction in metaphysical possibilities apart from illogical possibility or broad logical possibilities. What I'm not understanding is what kind of God are you worshipping if you think it's not necessary, not even in the logical sense? It's a weak God, isn't it?
No, because there's no connection between logical possibility and metaphysical possibility. For something to be logically possible, it's just to say that it's consistent with the laws of logic. But most
Yeah.
philosophers like Kripke, Fine, Odeberg, they take metaphysical possibility to actually refer to existing things like reality itself in the broadest sense. So just because I say
Okay.
God is logically possible doesn't mean all of a sudden that God can fail to exist or anything. I don't see how that makes God any weaker.
Okay, sure. So the problem is with your definition of what's logically possible and what is logically necessary, because don't you think that logical things exist as well? Do the laws of logic exist as real things in some way, some shape or form, even if not
Yeah,
physical,
in
whatever,
some
do they
way,
exist?
I'd hold that the laws of logic are real. Yeah.
Okay, so like they are real, maybe you could look into the details and several theories, but you will say at the end of the day that they have like an ontology. They are real and they are universal principles. Are
Yeah,
they not?
they are real in some sense. Yeah.
Okay, so are they eternal with God? Did they exist before God?
Um,
How does that work?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have a view specifically on like the nature of abstract concepts like the laws of logic and stuff, whether they
Well,
exist
but you
before
would
God.
have to say that the laws of logic are at least eternal or that preceded God, because if you say they did not precede God or if they're not eternal with God, then you will be contradicting your claim, don't you? Because you said earlier that God is like maybe contingent on the laws of logic or whatever. So possibly for you, God cannot exist before them. So did he exist always with them?
Yeah, perhaps God exists always with the laws of logic or something. I think that's
Okay,
fine.
so metaphysical stuff always existed as like always eternal.
Yeah, I think given God's nature as a rational being, rationality
Yeah.
can only be understood if the laws of logic exist. So his existence just by conditions to the laws of logic.
By conditions, you mean like a biconditional?
Yes, like God exists definitely if
Okay,
logic
so
exists.
but you said wait, but do you think like logical possibilities to be like a greater category than metaphysical possibility or like the metaphysical scope?
It
Model
depends on what
school.
you mean by greater. Like a lot of philosophers
Greater,
and
maybe
literature.
maybe in size. So like for example, you will say that God is like metaphysically necessary, yet you're not gonna say that he is a logical necessity. So for
Yes,
example, if you have, just to finish real quick, if you have something that is metaphysically possible, it may be physically necessary, but it doesn't have to be metaphysically necessary as well. You see how the metaphysical is like superior to the physical. So I'm asking you in a similar way, or maybe in the size of the total possibilities, in the size of the set. Is the set of logical possibilities like just greater than the set
Wait,
of metaphysical
can I have?
possibilities?
Yeah, yeah. Can I have pick perms? I have an image that kind of demonstrates
Uh, you're,
the
you're,
scopes.
yeah, you don't have peak perms?
No, how do I get pick perms? You know.
I don't. I think you need to like level up or some shit because I also don't. I don't have perms to give you pick perms. That's great. You can just send them in DMs. It's not about a. It's not gonna be a problem.
No, it's fine. Just
Pick
click on
perms.
that link. It should
And
take you
whoever
to
just
the
said me to
image.
be, I'm gonna strip you. No, in fact, I'm checking right now. Do not send me. I did absolutely nothing. Anyways, who want pick perms?
Me. Can you give me pick perms?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's greater, right?
Yeah, greater in the sense that I'm sending this image that will show you how it's greater.
Okay, and you said it's like a biconditional
Yeah, so
earlier.
God exists differently if the laws of logic exist.
Okay, so that means if the laws of logic exist, then God exists as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you just made God a logical necessity.
No. Wait. When we say logical necessity, given how I've defined logical necessity, a
Yeah.
logical necessity is something where the concept of the intention of that thing, right,
Yeah.
cannot fail to exist. God existing in all possible worlds does not guarantee that God is a logical necessity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not my argument. My argument is you just made a biconditional between logical and metaphysical because you said that given God's rationality or nature or some shit like that, you said if and only if he exists, then you also have the laws of logic or like whatever. You have logical possibilities or whatever. So that's a biconditional, which the logic can be treated also as an identity statement. Even if you don't want to treat it as an identity statement, it's still going to be again a biconditional. For example, I could say space can only exist when you have time and vice versa. Doesn't mean I'm saying that space is the same thing of time, but I am saying indeed that space can only exist when you also have time. So like they must be together. If you make the biconditional within God and logic, then you just make God a logical necessity by one
Yes,
of the
sir.
two methods that I gave you.
No, it wouldn't be a logical necessity. To say something's a logical necessity is to say that its non-existence contradicts the laws of logic because
Yeah.
logical modality is a language. So
Mm-hmm.
when I said that God's existence is by condition to the laws of logic, that's not me saying that God's non-existence would contradict one of the laws of logic being true or not.
Maybe that's not what you think it means, but what I'm saying, which is what you're not attacking and not defeating, is that that's the implication of what you just said. Even if you may disagree with it, it doesn't really matter. That's what you said.
Wait,
You
hold on. Wait,
basically
when
made
we
God a
say
logical necessity. You said
wait,
it's
hold
a
on.
biconditional.
God is necessary for the laws of logic to exist. That's fine, sure. But when we say
Okay,
that
so then
God's a logical necessity,
you just said God is necessary for the laws of
wait,
logic, but how
hold on a
can the
second.
laws of logic precede metaphysical necessities or possibilities
Can
if they have to be
I finish?
contingent upon them?
Can I finish? So
Sure, but
God
I'm
being
not
logically
understanding what you're
contingent,
saying.
okay, just listen then. So God being logically contingent means that
Mm,
God's existence is contingent with the laws of logic. And then God
mm,
being logically necessary means that God's existence is guaranteed by the laws of logic. So his non-existence cannot be consistent with the laws of logic that he's created or whatever. So like
yeah.
even if we say that God creates the laws of logic in some way,
Mm,
whatever, if the laws of logic in question, the law of non-contradiction, the law of excluding the middle, the law of identity, if those laws specifically generate no contradiction when God's existence is denied, at least
mm,
intentionally speaking, then he wouldn't be considered logically necessary in the sense that I'm talking about. Because
yeah.
logical modality is considering the intentions of a being. If we're talking about the extension of the being, so as in,
Mm-hmm.
God is metaphysically this and God metaphysically sustains the laws of logic, then perhaps you can frame it as him being a logical necessity. But regarding his intentions alone, God is not logically necessary.
Okay. So you've yet to give a single defeater to what I said. Just giving a repetition of the defined terms that you already gave like 5 minutes ago is not gonna help the case. Nor is going to give, it's not going to be a rebuttal to what I said. My argument is you just made a biconditional, maybe not even intentional, maybe you misspoke, I don't know, but you just made a biconditional within God and the laws of logic, or like just logic in general. That means now logic itself in its entirety, and I believe you believe that the laws of logic are by definition a logical necessity. You just made them contingent upon metaphysical stuff, or like the realm in general of the metaphysical. First of all, that is already contradictory with the image that you sent, because how can logic precedes metaphysical possibilities or metaphysical modality if they have to be contingent on metaphysical modality, implying that they must at least per minimum coexist together? Second of all, I understand when you talk about, oh, I believe that God is metaphysically necessary. I don't believe it's logically necessary, because I don't think that a statement, God does not exist, would imply a P no P contradiction, within the realm of logic. Buddy, that's your claim, not an argument or a defeater. I'm saying what you said earlier is already conflicting to that if you make the biconditional within metaphysical stuff and logical stuff. That's the problem.
That
Okay,
is
there's
true.
a slight confusion. Okay, look, so I'm going to repeat this one more time, and then I'm
Okay.
going to let you respond. And if you don't respond, we can just move on. So
Okay.
the initial claim was that given God's nature as rational, right, it would be biconditioned to the laws of logic. And I've already explained to you that the distinction that many philosophers in literature make when discussing logical modality versus metaphysical modality is that logical modality deals with the intentions of things, like the meanings of the words that we use. Yes? So
Yeah.
what I said to you initially, and what I stand by even in this point I'm making now, is the meaning of the word God, the intention of that term, generates no contradiction when denied, right? So when I define God as, like, I don't know, this omnipotent, omnipresent, all-loving being, if I say this being doesn't exist, there is no contradiction that is being generated from that intention alone. When we add these other facts about what God does or what God sustains, perhaps there is a contradiction with God not existing and whatever these other things existing as well. But based on how I understand the laws of logic, there would be no contradiction generated purely from the intentions alone, right?
Okay.
So in that sense, God would not be logically necessary because his existence, intentionally speaking, is not guaranteed by the laws of logic in any way. However, I understand your point. You're taking it as if, because I've said God's existence is by condition to the laws of logic existence, you're taking that to mean that because the laws of logic are necessary logically, that therefore God is also necessary logically. But I don't think that follows. I think there's an asymmetry there. So God is by condition to the laws of logic. The laws of logic are necessary. That doesn't mean that God is also logically necessary. God is metaphysically necessary. He sustains the existence of the laws of logic in all possible worlds. But his non-existence isn't guaranteed by the intentions of the laws of logic themselves. His existence is guaranteed by metaphysical necessity.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, first of all, I want to confirm you said the intention of things. You said broad logical possibility is about the intention of things, and you also said and I quote verbatim because I literally tapped it out while you were saying it, the intention of the word God does not create any contradiction when denied. Verbatim,
Yes.
This is what you said. Can you confirm this?
Yeah, I confirm.
That means, okay, that means in a logical model scope, if I say God does not exist, you don't find a P and not P in that, right? So we also have the confirmation 100% that this is what you mean to say, right?
Yeah, not given the intention of the word God, there's no P and no P.
Yeah. Then okay, exactly right. So then that means that the only thing I need to tell you is that you just committed proof by assertion fallacy, because rather than addressing my objection, you just made a repetition of what you said earlier. So I can also give you the definition of proof by assertion, since there are like two main definitions used. One is either saying that something is true just because you say it's true, so proof by assertion. Another usage of the fallacy is when you make an argument or you make a claim that gets defeated, and supposedly you shall give a new rebuttal. But when you don't give a new rebuttal and you repeat everything that was already refuted, that will be proof by assertion. Sorry if I made like this specification, but not many people know the name of this fallacy. But getting
What was
back
it called
to the
again?
main
Daddy.
topic, getting back to the main topic, that's exactly what you committed. Because you keep making this distinction between logical necessities and metaphysical necessities. You keep saying that the biconditional does not make the laws of logic contingent upon God, but you keep not attacking my argument. Biconditional statements, by their definition, are either identity claims or claims about two distinct things that must coexist together, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to exist at all. Again, if and only if you have space, then you can have time. Space is not the same thing of time, and yet they have to coexist necessarily together. There's not a moment in which space can precede time or vice versa. Once again, if you say that God, because of his rational nature, if and only if, to the laws of logic, or if you want to paraphrase this sentence differently, you're free to do that. Maybe if you want to correct me or whatever, the problem still remains. You made a biconditional. Either you're saying that God is must be logically necessary because it's metaphysically necessary, so the identity statement, or you're simply saying that metaphysical necessities must coexist equally with logical necessities. You
No.
denying this, thinking it's not true, or saying there's confusion is a claim of denial, not a rebuttal or an argument that defeats it. That's what I'm
No.
trying to show you. What do you mean
So
no?
the argument is very clear, okay? So
Okay.
you're saying that my biconditional statement, which is asserting that God is biconditioned to the laws of logic, such that if the laws of logic fail to exist in some world, then God would also fail to exist. You're saying that statement affirms that God is logically necessary. Hold on, wait, give me a second. Hold on.
I think you don't know the difference between a normal conditional and a biconditional. This is
No,
embarrassing.
don't. Wait, hold on.
See,
Yo,
if you
what's
say
good, Tron? What's good, Axility?
if you say God needs to have the laws of logic to exist, I don't disagree with that. But it's not the same thing of saying if and only if. There's a difference.
There's no way he's confused on this. What?
That's the problem. He
Yeah,
is.
cool. So let me just restate what I said one more time, right? With
Okay.
the argument, and hopefully this time you can give a response. So
Okay. Hopefully.
modality is a language, okay? Modality is a language in the sense that we have a set of axioms or laws, and then we can check whether things obtain in these given sets of worlds or types of worlds where these laws obtain as well. So the laws of logic, right, would be the laws in question, and then we have different logical worlds, quote unquote. And then given these logical laws, we can say, okay, can this sort of thing exist? Now, the difference between types of modality is the scope, okay? Laws of logic or logical laws, their scope is conceptual things, so intentions, the meaning of certain words. That's why something can be logically contingent and yet exist in no possible worlds, according to philosophers like Kripke, for example. Because despite them talking about intentions, in reality, it's something distinct. So most philosophers agree that logical possibility does not, or logical necessity, sorry, doesn't guarantee, it's not no logical necessity, logical contingency, sorry, does not guarantee existing in any possible worlds. Now you're saying that my claim that God is biconditioned to the rules of logic guarantees logical necessity, but that's false, right? And the reason why it's false is because to say that something is logically necessary is to say that the intention of the thing, the meaning of the word in question, guarantees that anyways, the meaning of the word in question.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the sentence from the beginning? Because
it was free. I don't know what he was doing. But logical necessity or logical contingency, whatever, when we talk about that, what that means is that given the concept of the term, okay, its existence is either necessary or contingent or impossible. Okay. I've already told you the concept of God does not generate any contradictions on its own.
That's a claim. See, I'm sorry to stop you there, but that's the claim. I want you to explain why. You
okay,
keep,
wait.
You just did it again. You just give a denial.
And y'all remove the soundboard.
I already explained why. Look.
What is your explanation? Can you say that again? Maybe I was not tracking.
Let's just define God as this sort of intelligent personal creator. Okay. If I say this intelligent personal creator does not exist, logically in a truth table, if I was to write out a truth table, right, and say this is P, I could also represent not P, and there would be no issue with that in a truth table.
That's a claim. That's a claim. You keep making the claim. That's not evidence. It's not a rebuttal. It's a claim of denial. See, this is exactly why I'm saying you're not addressing the whole my defeater.
Just stop. This is not a mere claim. This is just how logic works, simpliciter. Okay,
that's another claim. That's what I'm putting into question.
Just stop. When we talk about logical possibility, yes, if it can be represented in a truth table, it's logically possible. Okay, that's what logical contingency.
Can you do that for me? Because what you just said is just not true. That's not how truth table works. Truth table works in a different way. Truth tables is whenever you have a bunch of propositions and then you have some type of symbol or like logical connective. You know what a logical connective is? It's the type of symbol that makes the connection, quote unquote, between two propositions. For example, if I say P and Q, and will be, the symbol of conjunction. If you say P implies Q, the arrow going to the right will be the symbol. That's a logical connective. A truth table, you have a proposition, then
Yeah.
you have a connective, then you have another proposition, and so on and so forth. Okay, you could make
Yeah.
different types of. Okay, that's what a truth table is. If you put P and then not P, you would have a contradiction if you put them
Yeah.
in the same like how do I say it, in the same like square, in the same like label. Okay, if you then make different propositions like with different separations within the truth table, you don't obtain a contradiction. This is how truth table works. You saying that putting P and no P does not create a contradiction is a total misunderstanding of
That's
how
not what I
truth table
said.
even works. Yes,
That's
that's
not
what
what I
you
said.
said. You said that putting that God exists and not exists in the same truth table does not create any problem.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I
That's what
said.
I
What I
said.
what
We
I
can
said
appeal
was
to the
that
recording.
what I
Please tell
said
me
was
what you
that
said. Yeah.
anyways, what I said was that, just to be clear, what I said was that any
Yeah.
proposition that can be represented in a truth table would be called
Yeah.
logically contingent. That's what I said. Okay.
Mm.
Now the
How
issue
is that
here is
any
this:
different from what I said?
when you want to justify your claim, because keep in mind, your view is this. Your view is that
See,
because
there
God,
was a soundbar. There was a
okay,
soundbar. You need to
sorry,
repeat
so
what
I'll
you said.
repeat. Your view is this, okay? Because what I
Yeah.
initially said was that anything that can be represented logically on a
Mm.
truth table is logically contingent. And then you probably misheard. I don't really know what happened there. Maybe I misspoke.
No, you're talking about no.
But
We again, once
hold
again,
on.
I'm not dumb. We can put to the recording.
No.
Allegedly, verbatim out
Wait,
of your
that's
mouth,
irrelevant.
you said those
Wait.
words.
That's irrelevant. Look, I already said, Axility already said, maybe I
Yeah.
misspoke. I don't want to go and
Okay.
derail and like go check the record. That's not relevant.
But then there will be
Regardless,
intellectual
if
dishonesty.
I misspoke. This is what I meant to say. Anything that can be represented on a truth table is logically
Yeah.
contingent. You keep
So the
asking
low
me.
excluded middle can be represented on a truth table. Now, is the low excluded middle a logical necessity, or is it simply contingent?
Sorry, say that one more time.
So the low excluded middle, just like the other two laws of logic, they are completely representable in a truth table. Does it mean that now they're like just logically contingent, as you said earlier, or are they still logical necessities?
They'd be. Hold on a second. Do you not think that the law of excluded middle is logically contingent as well as logically necessary? Like those two things aren't.
That's not what I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking you. Didn't ask you to flip the question on me. I ask you, can you answer the question? If you have a truth table, you will be able to still represent things such as the laws of logic. Okay. So I'm asking you, are the laws of logic simply contingent, or are they also logical necessities?
Now you're changing the question. The initial question you asked me was, if you can represent the law of excluded middle on a truth table, does that make the law of excluded middle contingent? Now, given how I
No, that's not what I asked. That's a straw man. We can put the recording again. That's a straw man.
Hold on a second. Just stop. Right? The answer is yes. I don't know if you didn't know this, but the laws of logic are consistent with themselves. So when we say that something is logically contingent, that means that it's consistent with the laws of logic. It's trivial that the laws of logic are consistent with themselves. Therefore, when they can be written on a truth table, they would be contingent. That's trivial. That's not like a gotcha moment. That's just basic logical fact. How can you disagree with that?
Okay, you don't? Yes, I don't disagree with that. I don't know why you're attacking Strowman. If that is your tactic, then it's failing miserably because I already told you. First of all, that's not what I said. I don't know why would you try to change my question. We can appeal to the recording. That's not what I said. Stop changing the terms. Second of all, to talk about what you said earlier, you said that it will be irrelevant or some shit. No, it's not going to be irrelevant. It's actually relevant because then you will be conflicting with the conditions. You cannot say maybe I misspoke when everybody heard you, and it's impossible for you to literally forget what you said like 20 seconds ago. You literally said out of your mouth, the proposition God exists and God does not exist does not create any problem whenever you put that on a truth table, which that's not how it works. That's why I made the correction in the first place. But the correction happened 10 seconds after I heard you saying those words. So how could I invent it? Makes no sense. Third of all, you keep talking about other things, in my opinion, that are not relevant. What you're referring to is how logically necessary propositions are still considered possible propositions. A logical necessity is still going to be possible by its definition. We don't disagree. That's not the disagreement. My question was not if there were simply contingent or simply possible. My question is, even though you can represent the three laws of logic on a truth table, and as you said, there will be contingent, does it mean that they are just contingent? Or are they also still, regardless of that, they are still logical necessities? So no, you didn't answer the question. So could you answer to it now?
Yeah, so now that you've changed
are
the
they
question...
still logical necessity? No, I never changed the question. Once again, we're going to put the recording, but please answer.
Hold on, just stop. Okay, just stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to respond to the two things you said, look, the first thing is, the reason why I said maybe I misspoke is because, quite frankly, I don't think we have to go and talk about something that doesn't really matter. Whether I said something or I didn't say something or I meant to say something else is irrelevant. That's just like stupid meta debate and gotcha tactics. let's say this, okay? Maybe I did say what you said, okay? That's fine. I'm now re-clarifying. We can move on. We don't have to go to that point again. Now, as for the response, yes, sure, it is also the case, right, that just because something is merely contingent does not make it only contingent. That wasn't a claim that I've made. I was just demonstrating to you how contingency works within the logical modal scope, which is that something is logically contingent just in case it is consistent as a proposition with the laws of logic, and thus it can be represented on a truth table. Now, something is logically necessary just because as a proposition, right? Its denial, its falsity
Repeat
is
yourself because somebody
incomplete.
was using some
Okay.
I don't know, weird noises. Say the sentence again.
Okay, so I'll just repeat it. So the first thing I said was this. The reason why I said maybe I misspoke is because I don't think we
No,
need
no,
to
no. I
go and
heard you.
talk
I
about.
heard you that part. I'm
Okay, cool,
saying.
cool. So what the
Oh,
logical
okay.
contingency stuff?
No,
Okay,
yeah, you
cool.
said
So
that you agreed that like it doesn't that you were not making the claim that just because it's contingent now it's like it doesn't mean it's not necessary. By the way, I
yeah, so
wasn't saying that you said that, but
yeah,
continue from
that's
that
fine.
point.
So no, I'm answering your question. I never said that you said I
Yeah,
said it. The
yeah,
question
yeah.
I'm
It's
answering.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
it was just a clarification. I know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
keep going with that.
So what I'm saying here is this, okay? So something is logically contingent just in case it's consistent with the laws of logic, right? As in its truth is consistent with the laws of logic. And then something is logically necessary just in case its denial is inconsistent with the laws of logic. So given the concept of the thing that we're analyzing, if we deny that thing, conceptually speaking, there is a logical contradiction that's generated. Now, the concept of God that I've talked about here is this sort of tri-omni intelligent creator, right? For example, when I deny that concept, when I say there does not exist a tri-omni personal creator, logically speaking, right, within the intention of that statement, I don't detect any logical contradiction, which is why I don't believe that God is logically necessary. However,
That's
when you talk about, hold on, however,
uh-huh.
I gave the view about God being bi-conditioned to the laws of logic. And then you sort of thought that because God is bi-conditioned to the laws of logic, that means that he's logically necessary. But God being bi-conditioned to the laws of logic is a metaphysical fact, as in God's nature entails that logic exists in some form, in some real way, whether it's a part of him or something like that. God's nature entails that. And so that wouldn't be a metaphysical, that wouldn't be a logical fact, sorry. That would be a metaphysical fact. That would be a metaphysical claim. Okay, that wouldn't be
Mm.
within the intention of the statement.
Yeah, I got you. You
Yeah.
don't?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Okay, so the first part you just say you don't really want to get into the meta debating, you don't think it's relevant, whatever. But when you said it's irrelevant, that you keep presupposing that there was an actual different intention from what you said. Okay? So like you meant something different from what you said. That's exactly the point of disagreement. I don't believe that. That's why I'm accusing you of intellectual dishonesty. That conflicts with the condition. It will be relevant to the dialectic. Even if you want to say, for the sake of the argument, that you didn't say that or whatever, like, okay, that's fine. Let's grant that. It's still not going to change the fact that inherently in its nature, this will be potentially relevant to the argument or like to the dialectic. I'm sorry, not the argument, but to the dialectic. Okay, now, getting that apart, I understand you don't want to talk about it. So even if you respond to that, I'm not going to respond back because I understand you think it's useless. Okay, so let's proceed from that point. Now to address what you said, you keep talking about this distinction within metaphysical stuff or like a logical stuff. However, you did answer my question. You said no, just because there's like contingent, logically contingent, doesn't mean that they're also necessary. Okay, that's fine. You answered my question. So things that are represented on a truth table, that means first of all that they are logically contingent, but it can also mean possibly that they are necessary. In the case of the laws of logic, they would have to be necessary. We agree on this, right? I'm asking you for confirmation. We agree on this, right? 100%?
Wait, agree on what? Someone sent a picture pack and it like caught me off
Yeah,
guard.
yeah. It's okay. So when you said that the truth table, you have some stuff in it, that means it's logically contingent. However, you can also have like something that is necessarily true on a logical level as well. We agree on that, right? Such as the laws of logic.
If something's contingent, it could also be logically true. Is that what the question was?
Yeah. So in a truth table, you have a proposition that means it's like at least logically contingent. But then you could also have something else as well that is also logically necessary, such as the laws of logic that can be represented by the truth table. No
Yeah.
disagreement with this, okay? Basics,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then the only thing that I heard you saying that is like a disagreement with what I said is simply you saying that you don't believe that denying the existence of God creates some type of problem, like on a logical level. You don't think it's going to create some type of problematic. You don't think there's like a contradiction. that's once again just a personal claim. Matter of fact, I even heard you say that you don't personally see. Maybe you didn't use the word personally, but you said that when you do the truth table or whatever, you don't really see a contradiction there. Okay, but then that's a personal belief, that's a personal claim. I'm asking you for the evidence or for an argument about that, which is what you're not providing. And regarding the if and only if, you keep confusing only if and if and only if. Those two are different, by the way. Only if is whenever you're stating a necessary condition. For example, if I say Mark can beat you only if you can fly in the sky, you see, when I say only if you can fly in the sky, that's not going to be the sufficient condition. It's going to be the necessary condition, or basically the Q, not the P, right? However, when you do P and if and only if Q, then what you're saying is that you must have P and Q at the same time. So if you say that God exists if and only if because of logic, then what you're saying is that logic as well exists if and only if God also exists. Now you claim that this was a metaphysical affirmation, but no, it would have to be a logical affirmation because now you just made it dependent and contingent on the notion and modality of logic as well. That's what you're not defeating. You're just going on repetition without addressing the yes, which is why I'm correcting you on your confusion, because you're confusing it with saying that God exists only if logic exists, which means to say logic must be a necessary condition for God to exist even metaphysically, because God would have to be coherent and rational in nature. But then that wouldn't mean obviously that just because God exists, it must be like a necessity on a logical. That's only if. It's not the same of if and only if. But you said earlier you made the black conditional. So you're still conflicting your own position by your own words. You're not give a defeater. I don't know what to tell you no more.
Okay, so look, it's been like 3 minutes. I'm gonna give like a pretty short response. In response, look, when we say that God's existence is guaranteed by the existence of logic, that's extensional. So when we're talking about logic, we have intention versus extension. I think I've used these words like 100 times now.
That's only if.
Extension refers to
that's only if. See, that's only if.
I'll let you talk. Hold on a second. I'll let you talk. Just show me the same courtesy, okay? Because I don't want to do this bugging thing, okay? We're talking about extension here. It's like extensionally speaking, as they are objects in reality, God and logic are interdependent or codependent or biconditioned, whatever you want to say. But intentionally speaking, there is no connection between the concept of God and the concept of logic, given how I've defined God. Now, you keep asking me to prove this claim, like prove that the concept of God does not entail a logical contradiction if denied. But look, I've already defined God for you. We can go through each law of logic, and I can tell you now that it seems as if each proposition in the laws of logic is consistent with the concept of God being denied. So the law of identity, right?
That's another claim. Right? I want you to give the evidence. That's the same claim.
Just stop. We're gonna go like
this is not the interjection to not make the argument. I just want to give the clarification. That's the claim. I want you to give that.
Let me finish, because I didn't cut you off one time.
Yes, but continue from that point. This is just to tell you, continue from that point. I'm begging you.
Just stop. So what I'm saying is that we can go over each law of logic, and we can put it in a conjunction with the proposition that God does not exist, and we can see if that conjunction, that proposition, that conjunction is possible or not. And I'll ask you. Okay, cool. So the first proposition is A equals A. Okay, that's law of identity. So we can just represent A equals A under the proposition of P. Okay, and then we can say God doesn't exist equals not Q. Let me just get the logical operator for that. Not Q. Okay.
Maybe you can type that out.
Given this, is there a contradiction with saying
so A equal A, and what is the little tilde? I don't know. You say that in English. What is that symbol?
That's not Q. Not.
No, I'm not talking about the tile. Because that's the toll symbol. I didn't ask for the toll symbol. I asked for the tile, the one between the A and the P. It's not the same thing of the toll and symbol.
One between the A and the A and the B, or the A and the P.
A and P. You see, there's like a little
supposed
wave.
To be a dash. Just ignore that. That's not really relevant.
What do you mean that's not really relevant? So why would you put it in there? What does that mean?
P represents A equals A. I thought that was pretty clear based on the structure of the sentence.
Okay, so if you say God does not exist, then it will be negation of P, not negation of Q. This is begging the question because you're already presupposing. Yes, because you're already presupposing that God existence is not contradictory to God existing on a logical way. But the problem is that a contradiction by see, can I finish? The problem is that a contradiction by definition will be P and not P. Obviously, if you put God does not exist and you represent that proposition as not Q, obviously it's going to be problematic.
It works. Axility, just stop. Keep in mind, this was within my speaking time where I asked you a question that you didn't fucking answer. So don't go and ramble.
What question did I not answer?
First and foremost, hold on a second to stop. Because now
you just said that I didn't answer a question.
No,
which one?
It's fine. I'm going to educate you right quickly.
I don't want you to get like a bastard. I just want you to tell me what is the question you thought I don't answer. What is the question you think I didn't answer?
Hold on a second. Throughout the whole conversation, I've been in good faith enough so you finish every single.
And I'm being good faith as well. I'm just asking you, what is the question that you think I not responded to?
Shut the fuck up, and I'll tell you what you didn't respond.
I don't care about you telling me to shut the fuck up. I'm just asking you a simple question.
I'll tell you what you didn't respond.
What is the question you think I did not respond to?
I'll tell you what you didn't respond to.
Which one?
Okay? So the question I asked you was, does that question, conjunction there entail contradiction? And then you said, you're begging the question because you're assuming blah blah blah. And I'm going to respond to both of those things that you said. So look, the first thing is this: when we count propositions in logic, we count by concept. Okay, so conceptually, if two things mean different things, they're different propositions, right? If I say Axility is black and divinity is white, those mean different things. There are different concepts. They have different meanings, so they're different propositions. They declare different things. The sentence "God does not exist" declares a different thing from the sentence "A equals A." Those declare different things. So yes, they are different propositions. I'm not begging the question. What you would be saying is you're trying to say in some way A equals A logically depends on God's existence in some way. But using logic alone, using intentions alone, there's no way you can reach that conclusion. So I'm going to ask you again, right? In what way is A equals A, as in P, and not Q? In what way are those contradictory? Because it's not by concept.
You don't? So that I can respond.
You just ask the question.
You made two blunders. First blunder is you just said that a conceptual distinction implied that there's a difference in the proposition. That's absurdity and that's pure nonsense. It also shows that you don't know anything about medieval theology or just in general scholastic theology or just in general anything about philosophy at all. Why? Because it's literally common knowledge among the people who started they are interested in this type of topics that conceptual distinctions are a form of virtual distinctions and vice versa. And the point is that no virtual distinction and no conceptual distinction is a real distinction. That actually they're not really distinct. So now you saying that two things being conceptually distinct implies a difference in the proposition, that's retarded. A difference in the proposition happens when if and only if you have a real distinction, because it will be a real, literally, not just using the term, but as a composite word, real distinction. There's a real one. Conceptual distinction just means that there's a distinction insofar as we're understanding it in our mind. It doesn't mean that when it comes to reality that two things are actually distinct. So that's the first blunder that you made, but I'm correcting you, so that's fine, hopefully. Second blunder you made, you want me to answer the question. So let me ask you a question. Do your parents know that you're gay? Oh, what are you saying? See, you don't want to answer the question because you think it's loaded, because you think that the presuppositions in it are false or wrong. They do not appeal to reality. Oh, you see, that's the same thing for me. The reason why I didn't answer your question is because your question has a presupposition in it. Namely, the presupposition is that the identity claim A equal A can be identified as P. Now you said that the proposition God does not exist is identified as not Q. That's begging the question, and that's your presupposition I disagree with. In my ideology, in my perspective, God's existence is equal to his essence. That means that the intention of God is the same thing of his extension, if we want to use the same terms that you tried to use earlier. So that means that whenever you try to deny God's intentions, which means on a logical level, you're also denying his extension, which according to you will be some shit on a metaphysical level. So either way, you're still gonna have a logical contradiction. The only difference is I have my view on ADS and stuff. You have your view where you don't think God is like a logical necessity.
Yeah.
This is just a claim. You proposing this is simply you giving the same claim again. That's why I'm calling you out for begging the question.
Yep.
Can you address this?
So look.
So
You said I made, anyways, you said I made two blunders there. Okay.
Sure.
So the first blunder you said I made is that I was talking about how conceptual distinctions entail distinction and proposition.
Proposition.
And then
Yeah.
you said, no, that's not the case because of some early medieval scholastic bullshit. Look, I know about what the scholastics said also, right? So like one of the key points about conceptual distinction and distinction is intention. One of the key examples people use is like Hesperus and Phosphorus, right? So the morning star and the evening star. Now, if it's the case that the propositions differ intentionally, but nonetheless are co-extensional, so they have the same referent, then you could say that they are the same proposition. But clearly, when I talk about the laws of logic versus God's existence, the extension is different. Unless you want to say that the laws of logic are the same thing in reality as God, which I never made.
That's exactly the point. Yeah, no, I know that you. I know you disagree with that. I know.
Wait. Why is he getting so jumpy for?
I'm giving you confirmation. I'm saying I'm going with you.
Hold on a second. Keep in mind, this is a criticism of my position because I said that I don't think that God, under my definition, is logically necessary. And then you, unless you're trying to say that God and the laws of logic are co-extensional, as in they refer to the same object in reality, right? Which, keep in mind, that's not my that's hold on a second. Keep in mind, that's
once
not my
again, I'm going with you. I'm giving you confirmation. So keep going. I'm following you. Keep going.
Why'd you keep doing this thing where you talk over me? Did I speak over?
Because you keep saying irrelevant stuff.
Look, anyways, unless you're trying to make the claim that they have the same extension in reality, which keep in mind, I don't think that's the case. I never said that's the case. Then obviously it's not true, right? When we say that the different conceptions does not entail distinction and extensionality, they would entail distinction and extension in this scenario because the difference in conceptuality also has a different referent in reality. Under my view, God is a different object from what the laws of logic are. He just sustains them. It's a relationship between the two. That's the first thing.
He sustains them? Wait, did you say he sustains them?
Just stop. The second blunder you said
I'm asking you for confirmation. You just said that he...
Okay, cool. We'll put the second blunder on hold. What's your question?
Did you just say that he sustains them? God sustains the laws of logic? Is that what you just said? Did I hear you correctly? You just said the difference is that he sustains them.
Wait, hold on. God sustains the laws of logic. The laws of logic sustain God. Is this sort of interdependence relation?
No, I'm just asking you. Did you just say that God sustains them? The laws of logic?
Yeah, that is why I said yeah.
Okay, so the laws of logic do not precede God. So once again, you consider that God is a logical necessity.
Wait,
once again, you just buried yourself.
Wait, hold on a second. The laws of logic do not precede God.
You just no, they do not precede God because okay, look, let me tell you. In my worldview, God is identical to the laws of logic. Okay, now in your worldview, you just made a distinction between them. Okay, so I don't know how precisely works in your worldview, but you just said that God sustains. You just said God sustains them.
Yep.
So if you say that, wow, that's a concession right there.
Wait, wait, hold on a second. How's that concession from the main point? The main point is that stop. The main point is that God is a logical necessity. And then you're saying me saying that God sustains laws of logic and the laws of logic sustain God in this symmetric dependence relation. You're saying that that's a concession.
They're on the same level.
How's that?
They need each other. They're on the same level. How is the look? Listen, you literally said as Christian earlier. Can I answer? Can I answer? I'm literally answering you. I'm literally answering you, bro.
Yeah, how's it a concession?
Yeah, so the reason why it's a concession is because I told you, you sent earlier an image, and this image has logical possibilities as the bigger set. Inside of it, you have metaphysical possibilities, and then you have physical possibilities. How the heck is the set of logical possibilities greater than the set of metaphysical possibilities? If to even exist, the set of logical possibility requires the set of metaphysical possibilities in the first place. That's already a contradiction on your worldview. I attacked this like 10 different times. For 10 different times, you did not give a single rebuttal on this. Rather, you were just repeating yourself on saying, oh, but there is a distinction between metaphysical necessity and logical necessities. God means this, and that in the intention, but so it doesn't even create a contradiction in the extensionality in the intention. That's all you said earlier.
Bro,
how does this address anything?
You're misunderstanding. Look. The image that I said before, hold on a second. Look, in the literature, when we're talking about metaphysical modality, most philosophers call metaphysical modality the broadest sort of possibility. So it has the broadest scope. For example, Kuhn's, Proust, Kripke, they all call it the broadest.
So even larger than logic?
why do you keep talking over me?
No, I just mean no. I just want to understand. Wait. I'm being dead ass. Just trying to understand. You just said the broadest. You mean like even broader,
Yeah,
like
but
the
when
logic?
we say broadest, what broadest means needs to be clarified. In the image that I sent initially, what that
Okay.
image is supposed to show is not what sort of logic is greater or bigger than the other. What it's supposed to show is the relationship between the logics. So if something is logically impossible, then it's also metaphysically impossible, and it's also physically
Yeah.
impossible. If something's
Okay, but let me ask you:
metaphysically
is there
impossible,
something that is logically possible that yet does not have to happen on a metaphysical level?
yeah, something could be logically
Okay, so
possible.
then you just made the set of logic greater than the set of metaphysics. You're dumb.
Wait, hold on, wait. When you say greater, what the fuck does that mean?
What? So what do you think I mean to say whenever we're talking about set theory and I'm saying that a set is greater than the other? What do you think I'm saying? Have you not studied mathematics when you went to middle school? What do you
Sorry,
mean? What do we mean to say whenever I say
what
that
does it
set
mean
X is
when you
is
call-
greater than set
hold
Y?
on a
What do I mean to say in your opinion?
What does it mean when you say one set is greater than
It
the
means
other?
it has more. It means it has more elements.
Yeah, but wait, hold on a second. The laws of
But you have to
logic.
agree with me.
Wait. Stop.
Yeah.
The laws of
Yeah.
logic aren't sets. It's a language. What do you mean that the laws of logic has greater elements than the laws of metaphysics?
Yeah.
Or the
So
laws of
the
physics?
elements are the propositions, genius.
Wait. The laws of logic contain three propositions. The laws of nature
The laws
contain
of the
more.
three laws of logic are the three. It's not they are the three propositions. By the way,
Okay, wait.
You don't even
Wait,
get your basic
hold
your
on,
basic facts
wait.
right, bro. Like, come on,
No.
bro.
You're misunderstanding again. The laws of logic. When we say the laws of logic as a set, within that set, as in within that
Yeah.
title, there are three
Yeah.
propositions, and then you're saying
Okay. Yeah.
the laws of logic contain more propositions than the laws of nature. I don't know what that means.
No,
What does
you're
that
not
mean?
understanding. No, they see
Of
that's
course
another
I'm
Strowman.
understanding.
I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know why you're attacking Strowman. What I said is that the modality of logic, right? So the set of logicality in its entirety contains more elements, or like if you want to call them propositions, it's fine. It contains more propositions than the set of metaphysical modality
Yeah, okay.
or metaphysical possibilities. That's literally why I asked you earlier the question. Do you think that there's something that is logically possible yet does not have to be metaphysically possible? Why would I ask you that question unless I was talking about literally propositions within the scope of logicality and metaphysics? Why?
Okay,
Why
wait.
do you think I say that?
That's what you mean. Hold on a second. If that's what you were meaning to say, then of course there are propositions that are logically possible yet metaphysically impossible. But
Okay,
this
that
doesn't
means
get
that
to
the set of logic is greater than the set of
Can I
metaphysical
answer the question?
stuff.
But that doesn't get to what we were talking about initially. Look,
Yes,
here's what
it
we were
does,
talking
because
about.
if it is the
Let
case
me
that the
just
set of
finish
logic
my
is greater than the set of metaphysics,
What
then
we
it
were
means that
talking
whenever
about
you make a
initially,
biconditional
what we were
between the
talking
two
about
of them, then
initially was whether
you're
God
literally
being
contradicting yourself.
laws of logic implies that God is a logical necessity. Now, I told you that I don't think that God is a logical necessity.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
showed you, like, if you
That's
go
what we
through
put into
each of the
question.
laws of logic, anyways,
It's
I
just a
showed you if
claim.
you go through each of the laws of logic and we make a conjunction of the denial that
Yeah.
God exists, given the
Yeah.
concepts of the propositions, there's not seem to be
Yeah.
a contradiction generated. And then
That's
you
the
said
claim
that I'm
once
making,
again.
hold
That's
on a
what I
second,
put into question. I'm still waiting for you to give an argument about that.
just stop.
I'm giving you
And then
5
you said
seconds.
that I don't know
5,
anything about philosophy
4,
or early
3,
scholastics because the scholastics
2,
teach that
1.
conceptual distinctions did not entail real ones. And then I said
Yeah,
in response to that,
they
hold
don't.
on a second, that presupposes that God and logic are coextensional. I don't
No,
take that.
not really, because
And then
putting
you
God
said in
aside
response,
entirely, you
hold
can
on a
still
second,
have
hold
the
on a second, and
distinction
then you
between
said in
conceptual
response, and then
distinctions
you
and
said
real
in response,
distinctions.
and then you said in response, and then you said in response that I've made a mistake, I've made a concession or something along those lines. And you just never
Yeah.
elaborated on how the initial view has been conceded upon. So are you going to show me how me saying that God sustains
Yeah.
logic means that they are coextensional?
Yeah, you done?
That's why I stopped talking. Yeah, that's why
Okay. Yeah, because like sometimes people speak and then they stop and then they keep speaking again. So I was just asking for confirmation. It's okay. You said you're done. Okay, yeah. So let me tell you. You just asked me a question. You just asked me, can you show me why would I have to be coextensional? Buddy, I already did. You made the biconditional. What do you mean when you say coextensional? You mean coextensional in the sense that whenever something is extensional, it also have to be intentional in a way such that if it is intentional, then it is also extensional. Obviously, that would have to be the meaning you're using. Otherwise, we will be talking about
No.
little nodes. Oh no! And then that nigga gonna backtrack again. Okay, but look,
That's
listen,
not
it's
the
cool.
meaning of coextensional.
See,
Look,
okay. Then let's clarify. What do you mean when you say coextensional? Because what
Yeah.
I mean to say is that
Okay.
God being identical with the laws of logic, that entails that God is a logical necessity. Now, even earlier when you made the biconditional within metaphysical stuff and logical stuff, that also implies that the God's metaphysical necessity depends on the laws of logic, just like the laws of logic depends on God's existence as a necessity in metaphysics. That will make God a logical necessity as well, because it's a if and only if. It's a biconditional. I already gave you the correction on why maybe you meant to say the only if conditional. Maybe that's what you meant. I gave you the chance to redeem yourself. You didn't take it. You kept going with this biconditional, and now you're getting cooked because of that mistake.
No, it
So
wasn't.
what do you
a
mean
mistake.
to say when you say coextensional? Please go ahead.
Look, I just want to request politely. Look, if you don't know what I mean when I use a term, don't
Yeah.
ramble on about what you think I mean. Just ask me the question.
But then why
When
would you
philosophers
accuse me
say-
of? Wait,
just
why
wait,
would you
just wait. When
why would you
philosophers
ask
say,
me to
"Shut
prove that
the
God is
hell
coextensional? Why would you ask me to prove that God is coextensional unless to say that God is coextensional will be my position?
What I'm saying. Why don't you just shut the hell up and let me
No,
speak?
see, this is a
Look,
serious question that I'm asking you.
now
Why
what I was
would
saying
you ask
initially.
me
What
to
I was
prove that
saying
God is
initially was,
coextensional
when we
unless you
define
believe that this is my
coextensionality,
position? Why would you do that?
define coextensionality.
If
when
that
we
is my
define
position, then you means you're predicating it
when
off
we
of
define
something. So what
I
is
don't
it that you're
hear you, by the way.
predicating off
I
of?
don't hear you, by the way. Look, I don't understand. When we define
Oh yeah, I don't
coextensionality, this is what
understand.
you asked
Yeah,
me. You
sure.
said, what do we mean when we say coextensionality? Then you went on a ramble point. I'm going to respond to that as well, by the way, before you try to cut me off.
Okay.
When we
Okay.
define coextensionality, in this
Yeah.
context, all that means is that two concepts have the same referent. So water and
Have the
H2O
same
are
what?
shut, bro.
But
Have
I'm
the
asking
same
you, buddy, stop being an
Why do
ignorant
you
whenever I'm asking you something. I don't stop being
one
like
more time?
cowardly like that.
One more
I'm just
time.
asking you. What do
One
you
more
mean?
time. They have the same referent. So water and
Reference.
H2O are coextensional. They have the same they refer to the same thing in reality.
Exactly. That means that they
Stop,
are
stop,
identical. So that means that you're saying that
stop. Why are you talking
extensionality is
over
the
me
same thing of
again? Why are you
intentionality and
talking
vice
over me
versa.
again?
What the
Why are you talking over me again? Why are you talking over me
bro?
again? It's like every time I make a point, he tries to talk
Then
over me
everybody
and then
goes
like
to
bring up a
mine.
new point. Look, I'm gonna respond to everything you've said. Wallahi, you can't stop me from responding. So I'm gonna keep talking until I get everything down. Okay, that's the first thing. That's what coextensionality means. The second thing is you have yet to explain to me, yes, why God and the laws of logic are
Yeah.
coextensional under that view.
Okay.
Because under my view, they are not coextensional, and that means if they're not coextensional, by the way, that means that the intentional distinctions actually imply existential distinctions. When I posit God, I'm not directly positing the existence of the laws of logic. Okay, that relationship is going to be something else that's distinct in some way, maybe metaphysically implied, but it's not logically or conceptually implied from the concept of God that I'm positing the laws of logic. And so, in that sense, there is once again, for like the 19th time, no contradiction. Also, who's this other guy? Sorry, just give me a second. XGLO, that's like a common example used by like almost all philosophers in the literature that use that example. But anyway, right, what I'm asking you this is this. If they're not coextensional and they refer to different objects in reality, then when I refer to them in my mind and I declare them to exist, I'm declaring that different objects exist in reality. So then what's the contradiction that's being generated when I say that God does not exist and the law of identity is true? What's that contradiction?
Okay. Yeah, now I can respond, hopefully. By the way, nice shifting of the border of proof, because notice how that was me questioning you for why you'd say there was a contradiction. There was no contradiction. I asked you, that's a claim. Can you give now an argument or some type of evidence or proof for why there's no contradiction there? And the best thing that you were able to give me was literally to just say, oh, because you know what, I put them on a truth table, I don't see any contradiction. I then educated you because I told you, first of all, that's not how truth table works in the first place. Second of all, even if you want to say that, that will still be your claim or your personal perspective on how you see. There's not an actual argument. There's not a proof against what I'm saying. It's not a defeater. Does not attack anything. It's just a claim of denial. It's just you claiming the opposite of what I'm claiming. It doesn't really work that much. Or maybe it's just you repeating yourself. That's why I'm saying it does not help your case. You've been going circular the whole time, and then you accuse me of going circular. Even though I think it's intuitively clear to all the niggas, hopefully, who are tracking in the VC, literally what you're saying is completely contradictory to what you said even earlier. Because now you just said that something is coextensional whenever it's like you have the same object that is basically identical. You even made the example with water and H2O. Now you then continued further confirming this, because now you said if two things are like not coextensive, they're not coextensional, then it means that they are different objects in reality. Thank you for conceding to the fact that whenever two things are coextensional, you're saying that the intentionality is the same thing of the extensionality, which is what I said at the beginning. Before you began to speak, this is literally what it's. Oh, yes. And then he's gonna interrupt me. And then he's gonna interrupt me. Okay.
Wait,
See,
wait,
that's a little bit of hypocrisy.
That's not true at all.
That's a bit of hypocrisy. But anyways, just to finish this off, right? Just to land my plane. My point is, while you keep trying to give some type of rebuttal, I'm showing you you're not able to. You always have to rely on some type of circularity, that you simply deny what I say. You simply claim the opposite of what I say. You simply think that what you said is true. And then, as the last beach, as the last final move, The ultimate attack that you tried to use was literally to switch the burden of proof, to shift it, literally to say, Axility, where's the contradiction in God existing? And come on, bro, you could do better, bro. Come on, you could have done
Okay,
so much better, bro. What the
he's
fuck?
done. So look, I just
Yes, I'm
typed out what he
done.
said. I'm
I
gonna do
want
the
you to.
Axility
Yeah.
tactic. I'm gonna do the Axility tactic where he
Okay.
quotes what I said in the rec, and then he says, "You know, bro, you actually make a blunder here. I'm gonna give you the chance to redeem yourself." So this is what he said. He said, "When two things are coextensional, the intentionalities are the same." That's false. That's
The intentionality and
completely false.
extensionality will be the same.
Shut the fuck up. Shut
Wouldn't
your
they
mouth.
be the same if they're the same
Once
object?
again, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Once
Okay.
again, it's false,
Oh,
right? If I talk
that's
to
false.
Yanni or Umbra or Vertigo or Espera and I say, look, man, I think that I think that Clark Kent cannot fly, but I think Superman can fly. The intentionalities are different. As a matter of fact, the propositions in general would be have different truth values or differing truth values, at least stochastically speaking. However, the extensions are the same. My concept of Superman differs from my concept of Clark Kent. When I think of Superman, I think of a different object than I do of Clark Kent. Yet they are the same in reality. So the claim that two objects are extensional, coextensional, just in case they have the same intention, Italia, spaghetti, is fucking false. That doesn't make any sense. It's gibberish. The whole point of hyperintentionality versus coextensionality is to make that distinction that two objects, just because they have differing intentions, may have the same extension. That's the first thing. Obviously, it's trivial that if two objects have the same intention, they have the same extension as well. But if, I'm fucking racist, do something about bitch. Anyways, if two objects have the same intention, they'd have the same extension. That doesn't mean that if two objects have differing intentions, that they automatically have differing extensions as well. Okay? That's the first thing. Now, the second thing that I want to say is this. I didn't question Beck. I demonstrated how there's no contradiction. Here's how
What was the proof? What was the proof? What was the proof? No, I'm just gonna press you this because I know for a fact that you gave no fucking proof, no fucking argument. What is the proof?
I demonstrated how.
What does that mean? Hayate? Is that Japanese?
I demonstrated how the propositions are consistent.
Is that a Japanese word? Hayate? Karate? You do karate?
I told you the logical contingency. Logical
What is the proof for why there's no contradiction? What is it?
Being consistent with the laws of logic. Okay.
See, what's the proof?
Listed out all of the laws of logic for you, and I made a conjunction. And I said,
I already gave a defeater to that. I already told you why you were begging the question. So I don't know why would you try to say that you did not beg the question because you gave an argument when the argument that you gave is exactly what I accused you for whenever I told you that you were literally begging the question. So I don't know what you're talking about.
More G's. Okay, are you done?
Wait, are you gonna say Hayate again?
Can I speak now?
I want to hear you again saying Hayate. Say that again. I'm sorry. I want to hear that again.
I showed how the concept of God under my definition does not generate
on your definition,
when conjoined.
Your definition is what I put into question. You're not tracking. You're still going circular. That's exactly what I put into question. I put into question the validity of your definition for why your definition must be the case. So now you just admitted that you're not begging the question because you're using your definition. Genius, that's literally you confirming that you've been begging the question the whole time, because that means you have to presuppose your definition in order to give a demonstration for why your definition holds. You're retarded.
You know, the laws of logic are dependent on a greater set than the laws of metaphysics, and the laws of metaphysics are greater than the laws of nature, and the laws of nature. My name is Axility. I have 5 fucking glazed in the chat. They think I'm better than C. You know what I mean? Fucking bastard.
That was a good rap song. Maybe you should, I don't know, like do some freestyle.
Maybe you should, I don't know.
But anyways, can you address what I said earlier?
I have a syndicate. They all glaze me. Yeah. You know, they all suck my wiener. All of that. You know, fucking bastard. Okay. Can I finish what I'm saying now? So once again, the proof that I gave was this: the concepts of the words do not generate a contradiction. And then you said to me in
response,
that's
the claim, that's not the proof. That's the claim that I put into question. You're going circular. This is now argument by repetition or fallacy. You're not saying anything new. See, you're being demonic, bro. Come on. By the way, I think everybody can testify. When you behave in this way, that's demonic. I'm telling you, even biblically speaking, what you're saying is demonic. Like, I'm sorry, I meant to say what you're doing. No, what you're doing is demonic. It will be demonic behavior. Don't do that.
Until you finish
this
the
is
point.
just a suggestion, by the way.
I'm gonna. Oh my god,
bro, you're just going circle. Look, I'm just gonna attack what you said earlier. You just made an example with Clark Kent and Superman, saying that the person has a different concept of Clark Kent and a different concept of Superman because he does not have the knowledge that Superman is Clark Kent. So you said that they have different intentionality, even though in reality they are the same object. But you're not tracking because you just made the whole matter
point, bro. I want to see the point.
propositional
I
in
want
a
to say,
relative way.
make it
You just made it subjective because you basically used the personal belief of the individual to say the intentionality here is distinct, yet is the same object in reality. But this is exactly the problem. It is not analogous at all. Because in your example, the person in question with the different concepts of Superman and Clark Kent, since he doesn't have knowledge of Clark Kent's real identity, what you're basically saying at the end of the day is, oh, I don't know the difference between X and Y, or I know the difference
That's what I'm
between
talking
X and
about when I'm
Y,
talking about the rapping, you
therefore
know.
X and Y
I'm
are
going
the
to keep
same,
that.
or
Just
vice
chatting a lot of
versa.
shit, and I don't
X
even know
and
what the
Y
guys
are not the
talking about right
same.
now.
But
So
the
look, do you want
problem
to
is
conclude now?
that what we care about
Do
the
you want to conclude now?
belief is not the
Do you want to conclude
personal
now?
belief
You
of
want to
the
conclude now?
individual that
You want to
matters.
conclude now?
What matters is
You want
what
to conclude
corresponds
now?
to reality.
You want to conclude
So
now?
even though the
You want to conclude now?
intentionality
Do you
of
want
a
to conclude now?
word under
You want to conclude
according
now?
to the same
You want
individual
to
may
conclude
not
now?
be the same
You want to conclude
intentionality
now?
of another
You want to
word,
conclude now?
that doesn't
You
mean
want to
that
conclude
the
now?
intention the
You want to conclude now?
objectively that the
You want to
intentionality
conclude
of that
now?
term does
You want to
not
conclude
correspond
now?
to its
You want to
extensionality,
conclude now?
which is
Yeah, you
exactly
want to
my
conclude
point.
now?
So
Yeah, you
you're
want to
yet
conclude
to
now?
give it the feeder.
Yeah,
You
you
have
want to
yet to give it
conclude
the
now?
feeder.
That's an opponent. Please stay focused if you want to.
Fuck,
Pull up
why
again, I'm
would
aim
that
at
nigga
time.
put some
Pull up again, got a
soundburst?
pen in my hand. I'm gonna hold up, I'm aim for dead. Pull up again,
See, so now I
for
want
dead.
you to give
It's
it
like
the
I'm coming,
feeder. Can
leaving
you
my
give it
red.
the feeder?
I would
Or
gun in
you're
my hand.
going to
Pull up
make
again,
this
got murder on my mind. Pull
stupid
up again,
and
got frost on my
idiotic?
head. Pull up again, I'm gonna aim at bro head. Pull up again, I'm gonna shave off his beard. I was
You
again,
want a
was
rap
my
battle?
hand. I was outside with a blade in my hand. I was
Okay, we
outside.
can rap battle. Let
Anyways,
me
look,
take the
can we conclude
lyrics.
now, bro? I can't. Like, this is a fucking joke, bro. Please, can we conclude?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Eminem Rap God lyrics, and then I'm gonna humble you even by having
All right, look,
freestyle.
I'm gonna conclude now. I don't know what he's
Yeah, so
saying.
I
I don't
want you
know,
to
yeah.
give a refutation to what I said earlier before I get starting. You know, I'm
No,
already
no, I
clapping my
don't
hands
think I need
before
to
starting with
respond.
the
I think I'm
freestyle
coming
because I'm not gonna quote
a bit.
Eminem Rap God. I'm gonna cook you on that. So before I'm getting to do that, please give a refutation to what I said the whole time. Go ahead.
How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay. Put man in the top, try
Okay,
see him
so
on
you
top,
want
even
me
the
to
stick
get
is
with the
gay.
rap battle?
When my
Okay, that's
brothers say
fine
that
by
I love
me.
them, but I don't swing that
That's
way.
fine by
A
me.
man them
Rap God
celebrate Eid,
lyrics.
just one on Christmas Day.
Cooked. I was
Somebody
gonna
told
reason
Jordan that.
you not to
That's
hurt
what
your
Jordan
feelings,
that.
but I'm only gonna get
That's
these
the most
one
that I don't
chance.
like.
Something's
What?
wrong. I can feel
Guys,
it.
what
Just
to
a
talk about?
feeling
No,
of
no, no,
God, like
riding,
something's about to
riding.
happen, but I
I
know
was
what it
telling my
all
dad, pull
means.
up
If
again. I
that
was
means what I
outside
think it
riding.
means, we're in trouble.
My
In
name on my aim, I
trouble.
want to
And if
stand the
he is as
slide.
bananas as he
Pull up
says,
a
I'm
battle,
not taking any chances. It's just with the dog culture. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god, rap god. All my people from front to the back, not back, not. Now, who thinks your arms are long enough to slap box, slap box? They say I rap like a robot, so call me rap. But for me to rap a computer must be my genius. I got a laptop, my backpack, my plug a hole in a house. I got a fat now from the rap profit, made a living and killing of it. Ever since booking, there was still an office, but Monica Levinsky feeling on is now sucking. I'm still honest. But as rude and as indecent as whole hell. Syllables, skillaholic, kill 'em all with this clip, pretty pop. You don't really want to get into piece of match with this rapper rapping in the back of the epic and was rap crap, yak, yak. At the exact same time, I think this lyrical acrobat sounds while I'm practicing that I should be able to break a motherfucking table over the back of a couple of faggots or cracking hollow. All you realize it was ironic, was signed to implement after the fact. How could I not blow all of this drop F-bombs from a right of attack rappers are having a rough time here. Here's a max bad. It's actually distressfully bad. For the whack while I'm masterfully conscious this masterpiece ass. Cause I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All my people from front to the back now. Back, you don't know, son? So when will you give a rebuttal to what I said earlier?
I was way
You're not gonna
better,
give it?
bro. I was way better, bro. I don't give a damn.
You were not way better. Matter of fact, let me give you more. Samalama dumalami yusumi hama yuma what I gotta do get at your toy super you never take them to rubber say I say sick sharing of me it'll go to you and I'm devastating more than ever demonstrating how to give a motherfucking notice to feel let's levitate and never fade and I know daters have what I waiting for the day that they can self allow to be celebrated because I know what they're getting motivated. I make elevator music, you make elevator music. See,
I
you
must
just
be
lost the
high,
game.
bro. I must be high, bro. I have to be high, bro.
Yo,
bro.
that
You don't
was
wanna
tough.
So now I want you, likely, hopefully, to give a rebuttal to what I said earlier. Because you just lost the freestyle.
Shut up, Axility. Nah, C1. I give verdict to C. He wants to argue.
Look. Here's the
agree
last
to me
thing
the
I'm gonna
judge.
say,
Agree to me the
Xility.
judge.
Wait, hold on.
Agree to
Let me
me the
just
judge,
say this. Wait. Let me just say this quickly. Xility, I might have got a
Yeah.
bit heated, bro, but it's all good vibes from me. I don't really like dislike you. It's just fucking debate shit. But look, here's the last thing I'm gonna say about the thing. Look, bro. This is how I see it. Okay, something's
You're
logically
black.
inconsistent, just in case, like the concepts of the propositions can't be true at the same time. But then the concept of God, under my view, and the concept of logic are different. So it wouldn't make any sense to say that they're logically inconsistent. That's my position.
I already understood that, but now you just confirmed once again that is your position. That's what I put into question and I asked you for proof of that. You didn't give it, and you just made the claim again.
Wait, the proof was in the pudding, mate.
Oh, no, bro. If really that's the excuse you want to use, is that really you? Like, is that really the excuse? You're not
Yo,
tracking.
see, what
Is
was
that
you
the
smoking
excuse?
on?
Genuinely, I think there's a difficulty in proving that things are actually there isn't really a difficult. That would be weird to say. I don't think there's a difficulty in proving things are logically contradictory. I think it's kind of simple. We look at the concept of the words. And
Yeah.
if the concept of the words, like for
So you're
example,
basically saying it will be easy on my part, will be more difficult on your part, so you don't want to do that.
no. I
Yeah,
think, like,
maybe if
Wait.
only the work could work in that way, bro. I'll be the one to sign up for a work that works like that. Whenever I have some difficulties, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. Oh,
No,
wait,
I
for
get-
you,
I
it's
get it.
easy.
Wait,
It's
wait,
easier for
I
you,
have a
simpler for
question,
you.
bro.
Okay, you go ahead first. Bye bye.
Wait, I have a question for C. I have a question
Yo.
for C about his initial proposition. He was talking about what symmetric dependence. You always when you make the proposition about symmetric dependence.
Why
Wait,
is this
with the
nigga
method-
yapping, bro?
Is
Bro,
this
shut
Tron?
up, bro. I don't wanna you
Tron,
yapping.
wait,
Yes, it
Tron,
was
if I was
Tron.
to-
No.
If I was to fly you out, could we fight, bro? Because you were in chat the whole time, just talking a lot, bro. Like if you were in chat or this number name guy 22194, if I flew you out, would you be able to fight, bro?
You done?
Nah, I'm just asking, like, genuinely. I'll fight you.
Anyway, see, what I said still remains since from the beginning. The whole, like, no offense, no, not trying to get offensive or anything, but the whole time you been going circular in it. I was asking you for the proof of that position. You keep saying, "Oh no, but that's my definition. That's how I see." I understand that's how you see it. I don't care about how you see it. I care about what you prove and what you're not able to prove. What you can prove, what you cannot prove. That's what I care about. And the
But I
debate,
proved it,
especially.
though. I feel like
No,
I
you
proved-
didn't. No,
Wait,
okay.
hold on,
Once
wait.
again, you didn't
No,
prove. You just
wait,
stated
nigga.
the. You just.
No,
You just
wait,
stated
wait,
the.
wait,
You
wait,
just stated the
wait,
belief and the position and the claim. You
wait,
didn't
wait,
prove
wait,
that.
wait, wait,
That's
hold
why
on,
you then
hold on,
shifted the
wait.
button of. That's why you then tried to
Chill, bro.
focus the
Why,
whole
bro?
dialectic.
Chill,
See,
calm
can I
down.
finish? Can I finish?